So it's safe to call Sheryl Swoopes the number one Caitlin Clark hater right now. And that includes Skip Bayless. Heck, that I actually would think, I think that even the vocal Caitlin Clark haters on social media aren't even as big Caitlin Clark haters as Sheryl Swoopes is. I'm not going to lie, I don't think they even are. Before we get on, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We're trying to hit 25.5k by the end of the day, and we are 38 subscribers off that. If we could do that, that'd be incredible. But some of the stuff with Sheryl Swoopes, and the one thing is like, people are coming to the defense of Sheryl Swoopes. Look, she's pulling a Paul Pierce. She is pulling a Paul Pierce. And people genuinely, I said that she's pulling a Paul Pierce, and everyone on my Twitter is like, oh, she's way greater than Paul Pierce. Yeah, for the respective sport, sure. No one's questioning that. She's one of the GOATs. Paul Pierce is top 75 still all time. But the fact that Paul Pierce is top 75 greatest players to ever play the sport, and there was a 5-year spell probably where Paul Pierce was a top 10 player in the world. Honestly, maybe, yeah, probably 5 years with top 10 player in the world. And nobody really cares because he said ridiculous stuff on social media. So now that's all Paul Pierce remembered for, especially young players. But yeah, obviously I don't see what the point of bringing up her Loyola. It wasn't 2008. I don't see what the point of her being fired for coaching because she created a bad atmosphere. There are plenty of coaches, both male and female, that have done that. Like, let's ignore that. But it is mad for this one right here, when she broke Kelsey Plum's record for scoring. Again, for copyright reasons, I don't want to show any of Gilbert Arenas' podcast. But what she said was, she basically said that, I'm not going to show all of it, I'll show some things. But she was basically saying that the record wasn't valid. And then also said stuff like this.
I don't know. She can come back another
year. I just know some of those had chances of playing 6 years.
But let's also talk about how much more experience that gives you over other players coming in, right? So people say, dang, like he or she's killing them. But you have a 25-year-old playing against a 20-year-old.
Mm-hmm. She's 22. She was, I'm pretty sure it was like a week after she turned 22 when this happened.
Like, you should be killing them. Yeah. Because you've been doing it a lot longer than they have.
I mean, you do realize that she is like, what's it, nearly a year younger than Hailey Van Lith, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right? The Hailey Van Lith's nearly a year older than her. She's about 5 or 6 months. No, so Hailey Van Lith and Paige Beckers are around the same age. But she's around 5 or 6 months younger than Van Lith and Paige Beckers, who are still in college.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, but I know she can come back another year.
Yeah,
she can come back another year. Yeah, and she chose not to.
This is her fourth season, though, so she would be... Oh, she'd be legit. A season.
Oh, she can just come back one more year if she decided to.
Yes, so that would be her COVID year.
And this is her tripping up, basically saying that she's 24, 25, saying it was a 5-year thing. And then when she's corrected, she's like, well, yeah. Actually, next one's going to be her COVID year.
So to answer that question, Caitlin Clark right now probably takes about 40 shots a game.
She shot her most she shot in a year is 21. Like, that is the exaggeration of saying Caitlin Clark shoots 40 shots a game is like saying that Steph Curry, it's as big of an exaggeration as saying that Steph Curry averaged 60 a game in the 2016 season. Because it's double. It's double. Like, it's like saying Steph averaged 60. Or you know the way LeBron averages what is it, like 4 turnovers a game for his career? LeBron averages 8 turnovers a game. Or Caitlin Clark. You know what? It actually is the same as people saying Caitlin Clark averages 10 turnovers a game.
Carry on.
I know you like that.
Hell yeah.
I said that because when she comes to the league, regardless of what team she goes to that has vets on that team, she probably ain't going to get 40 shots a game.
She's shooting... The only player that gets 40 shots a game is Enrique. And to be fair, no. Enrique is like... At times, she'll shoot 30. At times, she'll shoot 30. And then, yeah, saying that the 5th pick in the 2023 draft got cut from Dallas. And that is just... Like, if you're going to make a statement like that... This isn't that bad a statement. So a lot of people are like, oh, this like Lou was, again, I'm somebody that's been following Lou's career since she was 18 because she played here. So, like, she was injured last year. She didn't play. So that's not a crazy statement. But again, if you are some WNBA expert, you would know that Lou was injured. And she's not doing great this year. And again, Yara Sabally had been injured at times in her career. So again, if you are just a casual viewer, you could be like, oh, neither of them are on their teams. And at times, Niara wasn't on the Liberty team because she came in injured. So I can kind of see that one. That's not that bad a point. Oh yeah, Caitlin Clark bullying every other player, pushing off to gain advantage, and that's all based on when. I'm not gonna lie, JC Sheldon. That was the flop of the century from JC Sheldon. But in fairness, the push-offs, I always say when it comes to the push-offs that you have to give it both ways. Defenders are allowed to manhandle her, so she has to be able to push off. If you're going to call the full court pressure with being hand checked 94 feet, if you're going to call that, then you got to call the push-offs. If not, you got to leave both of them. But this wasn't even the context. The context literally was that Caitlin Clark is out there bullying everybody. In the first post-game interview, every single question, Sheryl Swoopes was like, well, your team lost. Well, that wasn't how you would have liked it to have gone. She started off every question by basically saying, well, that wasn't the result you wanted. And then obviously the Katie Lou being more important for being a bigger reason for the Caitlin Clark making the playoff, or the Fever making the playoffs than Caitlin Clark. I'm as big a Katie Lou fan as there is. She's been terrible this season. Katie Lou Samuelson, for all intents and purposes, is like a lovely person. She's been awful. Like, she's been genuinely awful. And I don't know how else to describe it. She has been awful this season. Katie Lou plays no defense. She works hard, but she doesn't shoot well from anywhere. She runs, struggles catching the ball quite a lot. So, yeah, I don't really get that one. But yeah, Sheryl Swoopes. At this stage, Sheryl Swoopes just, you're very close to pulling a Paul Pierce. Because this is what happens, where it's like when people can make an entire thread of dumb stuff you've said about one player, and a lot of people are going to be like, oh, she's just the Skip Bayless of the WNBA, and it's like, I don't know. I think she's just very close to pulling a Paul Pierce. I think she's very, very close to pulling a Paul Pierce. She's not very close. She's already pulled a Paul Pierce, let's be real. Because the vast majority of people, people in their 20s were not old enough to remember 1997. I was 1 year old then. And people call me old, and I'm too young to remember Sheryl Swoopes. Like, when I first started watching WNBA, it was like the likes of Sue Bird, Taurasi was still there, Breanna was still balling it in college, Elaine Deladon was in college, Stewie hadn't even gone to UConn yet. So, I'm pushing 30, and I'm still way too young to remember Sheryl Swoopes as a player. And it's the same thing with young people. Don't really remember Paul Pierce. So that's why Paul Pierce is getting so much slander. She's pulling a Paul Pierce. That is what she's doing. And I don't care about the Rookie of the Year take. Like, you can have crazy takes. Like, look, saying Angel's Rookie of the Year is like saying Sabrina Ionescu's MVP. No, like, a ridiculous take, but also there is arguments to be made. So I don't care that much. But, yeah. That is pretty much it. Sheryl Swoopes. Please, just stop talking about Caitlin Clark, whether it be positive or negative. Like, because there is an entire thread of you making up lies about Caitlin Clark. There's literally an entire thread of you literally just making stuff up. Shot 40 times a game, was 25 years old in college. Is bullying other players on the court. It's just nonsense. And then the Katie Lou. The Katie Lou is a bigger factor in why they're in the playoffs than Caitlin. I'm sorry, if you take Caitlin Clark off this team, and people are like, oh, they were getting better, Aaliyah Boston's gotten better. No, Aaliyah Boston showed a better shape. Like, that has to be taken into account as well. Aaliyah Boston at this point in time right now is better than she was as a rookie. Aaliyah Boston showed a better shape. Nalissa Smith has regressed as a player. Erica Wheeler has regressed. Even if it is a different role situation, she has regressed as a player. I'm sorry, that team again with Katie Lou, Erica Wheeler, Kelsey Mitchell, Nalissa Smith, and Aaliyah Boston wins 8 games. And also, less of the league are going through like the league is better. The league's better. The Storm's better. Heck, like look, the Mystics, how many games did Caitlin Clark pull them out of close games? Like the Mystics, Mystics win one of those games. I think they would be down with Dallas without Caitlin Clark. And I think if you ask Aaliyah Boston, how many games would you have won without Caitlin Clark? Her answer, if she's being completely honest, her answer would probably be, she would probably be hyping up the rest of the team and say, we probably win 8 games. And it still puts you way out of play. That puts you in Atlanta territory. But anyway, that is the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.